Cloudcast Media. Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, and I'm so pleased to have in the studio with us today, longtime friend and colleague. I'm not sure how many decades or centuries we've known each other.
I think we determined 375 years.
I think so. We're the oldest human beings on the face of the earth. No one knows it, but they will now because of this podcast, and that is Kevin Leap, publisher of the San Diego Business Journal. How you doing, Kevin?
I'm doing great, Drew. Thanks. Happy holidays.
And to you too, my good friend. When did we first, I'm trying to think which one of the Kevin Leap iterations when I first met you, because it was a while ago. You know?
It was. I think it was when I founded Computer Edge magazine.
You know what it was,
and that was 175 years ago, and that does not even exist any longer. But
right, I do remember that. And so Kevin has had a long storied career as a community leader in this region in so many different fronts, whether it's publishing or whether it's the auto show or whether it's something in between. He's really been there, and you've been a great steward of great things that have happened in this community, connecting people, connecting businesses, and so forth. But now here you are, publisher of the Business Journal. What's the mission of the Business Journal?
Business Journal, our mission is basically just to be the primary source of business news in San Diego. There's really very little going on. With that, there's just not a lot of, and a lot of the business news that was occurring before now is all syndicated, and it's out of market stories. So San Diego is 90. I think Chris Kate said it was 92% small business.
Exactly, and we were just chatting that recently with Chris Thorne, our good friend. Chris. Chris
Very
is the CEO of the North San Diego Business Chamber on another podcast that we do, and you've known this for as long as you've been in this community, is that small business is the bread and butter of the economy.
It is.
We're not a Fortune 500 town for the most part, as you know. So it's those small businesses, whether it's sole proprietorship or it's 4 people or it's whatever the case may be.
And there's amazing things that are happening here, and I learn more every single day. I mean, it's wonderful because one of the things that we were kind of focusing on, the big 5, the Illumina and Qualcomm and Dexcom and all those things,
separate stuff, right?
Yeah, exactly. But and I know you guys can't see this out there, but we're starting to really expand on our coverage as to what's going on. This cover is a woman who basically started a pet food company out of her garage or her kitchen PB. And, there's people that started building beach chairs in Oceanside. Yeah. So just stuff like that.
Well, that's one thing I want to talk about as well, because you fit this bill as well. But you love to focus on those small business entrepreneurs, okay?
Absolutely.
Which they're just starting something out of their kitchen or their garage or in the backyard by accident, and now look what they've built up. Talk about how important it is to shine a light on entrepreneurs.
Well, a lot of the people, like you say, are determining what or discovering these things in their backyard or in their kitchen or something like that.
Right.
And there's a lot of challenges as to how to grow. I mean, they don't know many times how to communicate with the media, where revenue, potential investment or revenue sources are, what organizations they get involved with. So we're doing a lot more things along those lines. We're going to be doing an Entrepreneur of the Year and Innovator of the Year event this year too.
Right. Now, how long has the Business Journal been in San Diego? It's about as long as it's been. When they came in 1980 is when the Business Journal was founded. But there's a whole bunch of business journals around the community. I mean, at least in Southern California, correct?
We are privately held, and our owner also owns the Orange County and the Los Angeles Business Journal.
Right.
There are business journals all over the country, and we're just loosely affiliated through an association.
Right, exactly, and as you mentioned, do it as my former business, the Union Tribune. I was there for, as you know, many years, and as some of the stuff, there's some great reporting still coming out of that paper, every day. But listen, just due to some of the costs and some of the reductions, they can't cover what you can cover.
No, and their business coverage is extremely light.
Right.
It's good
right.
when they do it, but it's very light.
Yeah.
And, we have to put out 40 to 70 pages every single week.
Right. Exactly. And there's enough content to do that, correct?
There is more than enough content to do that. The biggest thing is just getting out of your chair and finding it.
Right.
Because a lot of these places, as I mentioned, do not know how to take their business to the next level.
And so that leads me to the next question, Kevin. Talk about how you encourage those businesses. There's always this fallacy that the media doesn't want to talk to us, and why would they be interested? It's the exact opposite. We want to talk to you. We want to know about it. How do they get a hold of you? They should shoot an email. They should shoot a text. They should do skywriting. What should they do?
My cell phone's on our website.
Smoke signals? I don't know. Now we're really dating ourselves.
Throw a brick through my window. There you go. No, my cell phone is in the masthead of the newspaper, and it's also on the website. And I'm hard not to get in touch with. And I'll take anybody's phone call and have conversations or direct them as to where they need to be. I mean, I get every press release that comes out across my desk every single morning.
Yeah, there's always a story somewhere. We're chatting with Kevin Leap. He's the publisher of the San Diego Business Journal. I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. We are the nation's longest running community podcast. We're in our 20th year now. So honored to have as our sponsor, Mission Fed Credit Union, 60 plus years of doing great things in the community, whether it's food insecurity, whether it's the arts, whether it's financial literacy, Alzheimer's. They are so involved in this aspect of it. And I know, Kevin, you've been around for a long time working with organizations like Mission Fed. Yes, they give nice donations. They keep the lights going and that. But they're also there working with you shoulder to shoulder. Talk about how important that is for a business like Mission Fed and others that do this, is actually to jump in and support.
Jump in and support the community?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's incredibly important. And who I'm particularly impressed with right now is Alaska Airlines.
Yeah, they're great.
They have designated San Diego as their primary hub and their primary focus. They are getting involved with every possible thing that they can. It's next to impossible to walk into an event without seeing them, without watching them engage with people that are going on. And that's how you help businesses grow, and that's how you assimilate into a market.
Yeah, I want to brag about them a little bit here. You just got a chance to meet Sid Vivek, our previous guest. Right. Sid is the president and CEO of Junior Achievement. I first met Alaska Airlines when Jeff Etherington, and if you're listening, Jeff, shout out to you. He's a senior guy at Alaska, works out of L.A., was on the board of JA. We've become good friends. And to your point, they always are sponsoring the Classroom of the Future Foundation at our events and all that aspect. So he was on top of his game early, and now, as you mentioned, they're just spreading their wings, no pun intended.
And they are, and they're basically... They were our primary sponsor for our Businesswoman of the Year, which took place last week. So they're supporting that community. And just about anything that you can think of, they're involved with. And we work with a lot of, every year we put out our giving guide, which is an overview of all the different charities in San Diego, what they're doing, what their goals and things are. So a lot of it is just looking as to what's going on out there and communicating it.
Right. We come back from break, Kevin. I want to hit on that point and talk about your folks' coverage of nonprofits, which is a bread and butter also of the region, and going to dispel the fallacy, the fact that nonprofits don't contribute to the economy of San Diego region. When we return with Kevin Leap, he is the publisher of San Diego Business Journal. I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. And then we'll be right back after this short break.
When you do your banking with Mission Fed, you get great rates on auto and home loans. That's good for you, but something good also happens for a lot of other people. We're not for profit, so we put money back into the community to help lots of great nonprofits to keep San Diego strong. So you're not just getting something good, you're doing something good. Come to Mission Fed. It's banking that's good for all.
Brand amplification is the DNA of Cloudcast Media, and our code is the powerful blending of sound, voice, and storytelling to lift local brands and their communities. Whether it is our Brandcast, Schoolcast, or Causecast platforms, the unifying ethos is all about this community, the one you call home. If you dare to dream and want to explore the brand amplification of Cloudcast, a national leader in local podcasting and other Winfluence strategies, please visit us at cloudcast.us.
I'm Drew Schlosberg with Cloudcast Media. We are back with Kevin Leap. He's the publisher of the San Diego Business Journal. You're listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, the nation's longest-running community podcast in our 20th year, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, 60-plus years of doing great things in the community. You know, Kevin, right before break, we were just talking about the work of nonprofits, your great coverage of nonprofits, and the fallacy that nonprofits don't contribute to the economy of this region. Debunk that myth.
There are, depending on who you speak with, right now, I mean, with the study that we worked with USD on, or that I have in front of me, the 13,261 nonprofits in San Diego.
Right.
And they have a $7.5 billion payroll. So they are basically supporting a huge number of people who in turn support businesses in San Diego.
Right. And not only just the employees of the nonprofits, but the folks that the nonprofits are working with that they can elevate in this aspect of it. So small businesses or entrepreneurs, and that, you know, must be a huge escalator impact on it. And, you know, the beauty of nonprofits, I've been fortunate enough to be involved in a bunch of those as you have too in this aspect of it. And I'm always encouraging them, if they want to get people to understand what they're doing, reach out to the Business Journal. They have an opportunity to really shout you out what you're doing. And it's all about marketing. It's about, going ahead, taking a look, how do you promote yourself? Talk about how critical that is.
It's massively critical. And, you know, I had a really good meeting with Nancy Sasaki, who is the basically retiring head of the United Way.
That's correct.
We were just really discussing that we need to do a story not just on the good that nonprofits do, but the business of nonprofits and how they benefit the community, as you just asked, and how what do they do? The only thing, and this is the age-old conversation, is what is the duplication out there of effort?
Yeah, I'm so glad you brought that up. When we started our Spotlight show back in the day in 2007, one of the premises I wanted to bring when we brought on a nonprofit is who you're collaborating with. Because if you're not collaborating, you're in a silo, you'll die in that silo. And
yes.
It's something as this. And there's a lot of great nonprofits that are working in the space of whether it's literacy or whether it's homelessness or whether it's in mental health. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. But if you work in isolation because it's my piece of the puzzle and no one else's, you'll find yourself looking around, there'll be no one behind you. Talk about the critical nature of collaboration.
the critical nature of collaboration needs to happen more. Basically, what's happening is, and these are all wonderful, well-meaning, good people that are doing this. And a lot of times we find that they have had a personal experience, that they've really, they had a nephew that had severe epilepsy or something like that, and they've decided that they wanted to do something about it. So they start, the Mira Mesa Epilepsy Foundation or something like that. They don't really take the time to look at what else is going on in that space, because there's a lot of opportunity for them to bring new ideas, new opportunities, things like that. Otherwise, a lot of times, many of these places spend a great deal of their time just generating revenue to stay alive, as opposed to...
Yeah, and we can respect that. In some
Absolutely.
groups, for $2,000 is their office supply budget for the whole year. We understand that.
Yes, we do.
These folks of the 13,000 plus nonprofits, the 99% of them or whatever the number is that actually are flat in profit in this aspect of it, in terms of what they can bring to the community, are just, listen, I hope we got this amount of money coming in so we can turn the lights on that. And I think that's real critical. Kevin, you and I have been around the media business for quite a while.
We have.
We've seen some shifts in this aspect of it. But no matter what, it's still such a critical component to go to a trusted source, know the information is going to be vetted, know the information is going to be true and accurate. We do make mistakes and we have to do some corrections. We get that. But more and more, there's not as many of those trusted sources like you folks, or I can just throw my own publisher, my own business, where I used to work for many, many years, the Union Tribune. Talk about how important that is. When they go to the San Diego Business Journal, they can trust it.
Absolutely can trust it, because we are 100% devoted to just educating people or sharing with what's going on in San Diego from a business standpoint. We don't cover politics. Just straight on, this is what's happening in your backyard. This is what makes your city run. This is how your neighbors are employed. This is, opportunities that you have. I mean, I learn something every day.
Yeah, well, that's one of the beauties of the media, or working with nonprofits, or doing this podcast I've been lucky enough to do for 20 years. And with the guests that we have, like yourself and all that business, it's a constant learning experience.
It is.
And it's sort of like a workout for your brain, whatever left in mind, for God's sake, in that aspect of it. Talk about how AI is changing things, maybe not only just from a publishing standpoint, but how about from a business standpoint?
I had a lunch about this just yesterday. It was really interesting, because I was talking with a lead PR firm, and they have created an entire division that's called AI PR. Right. Because basically a lot of journalists are not, doing the research that we've had,
Absolutely.
done. So it's really easy to type something into ChatGPT and have something that's sourced from 40 different places show up, and it's accurate and it's good.
In some cases, it's accurate, right?
Well, nothing's 100% accurate all the time, unfortunately. Right. You're right. But the thing is this PR firm is saying, okay, we need to write our press releases to AI, not necessarily to a journalist. So they're creating a whole model where they're taking their clients' information and putting in things that will be easily captured in searches.
Right. Yeah, we talked about this, earlier on the show here. But if a business, a for-profit business, an entrepreneur, a nonprofit organization want to get information in the business journal, they should just go to the masthead. They can either call you, they can either email it to you, they can text it to you, they can do whatever. And you want to know about these stories.
Everything gets looked at. Everything gets looked at, and we have, it's not just the publication. I mean, and a lot of people say that print publications are dying. We're up 27%.
Congratulations!
Yeah, it's circulation-wise, and that's insane. We have a podcast, not nearly as polished and as
I don't know about that.
as storied as yours is, but we have a very, very accurate and full website. We do 14 events a year. We have email marketing, and our social media is very, very strong. So we reach 50,000 people a month.
No, I think that's fantastic. It's a good number. You guys are certainly been a stalwart in our community for many, many years, and it will come for many years moving forward. What can our listeners do to support your efforts, Kevin?
Just, pick up the publication, look at it, access the website. You supporting the businesses that we write about makes our community a better place.
There's no question about it. Kevin, always good to see you. This won't be the last time you'll be on. Why don't you, we think about this and the next time you're on, bringing in some of your, colleagues that you've worked with in the business community, or maybe somebody that you've featured on your front page of the Business Journal. Give them a little more oomph on it. And I know you do that on your podcast, but let's do it on our podcast too.
I'm happy to do that. No territorialism here. Drew, anything you need.
Oh, you're very, very kind to say that. Kevin Leap, it's always a pleasure seeing you. Congratulations to the 27% growth in the circulation of the Business Journal, and we'll look forward to having you on many times moving on forward.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you very much.
Okay, thanks so much. Kevin Leap is the publisher of the San Diego Business Journal. I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show. We are the nation's longest-running community podcast in our 20th year. Honored to be working with our great friends at Mission Fed Credit Union, 60-plus years of doing great things for people living in San Diego County. And to our audience, we hope you enjoyed the interview.
You've been listening to an episode of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego community. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
Cloudcast Media.